I'm the FanFic Critic. I read it, you listen. Today we're going to be reading a Twilight fanfic called Forbiden Fruit, The Temptation of Edward Cullen. As you guys can clearly tell, the word forbidden is spelled wrong in the title, so that should be foreshadowing for you guys. The story isn't going to be that great. Okay. The author is Becky Mac 666, and this is their one and only story that they've ever written. It's rated M. It's in English. It's romance adventure and it has 277 reviews. And it also is an 8-chapter story. So this is going to be a long review, people. So bear with me. AN. Hey guys, this is the new improved version of my story. Hope it's better this time. BTW, I am young and have dyslexia. I find spelling hard, but it's meant to be informal, okay? Whether you have dyslexia or not, that's not an excuse to have bad spelling and grammar. If your spelling and grammar is really that bad, have someone else look it over for you. Or use Microsoft Word, or use a dictionary. It's really not that hard to do. Don't use dyslexia as an excuse to be lazy with your fanfics. No criticism, please. Yes, and Santa Claus is real. This story goes out to my BF Zach Kisses and my best friend Tiffy Love Ya Girl. Edward is our god. We want to sex him good. XXX XXXXX Love and Blood Becky Mac XXX XXXX. Gee, I wonder if this person is a My Immortal fan. Update. I have a proofreader and I have cleaned up the spelling and grammar on this chapter. A hell of a lot, as you will see. Yeah, I'm sure you did, seeing you spelled grammar and chapter wrong. Thank you, Vicky. I will be improving the next chapters soon. Chapter 1. Atlantiana. Hey, my name's Atlantiana Rebecca Lauren, but everyone calls me Tiana or just plain Tia. I'm a 16-year-old girl and I live in Forks, Washington. My hair is long and pale like spun gold and skims to my waist like a pale shimmering amber mist. My eyes are deep forget-me-not blue. That's not how you spell forget-me-not. And my delicate features, don't you mean features, are lily white and pure as the winter snow and moonlight. Yeah, something tells me that this is a Mary Sue. I've been told by loads of sleazy, ugly, horny guys that I'm real pretty and I look like a model or a bunny girl. Some of the guys who like me are really old and try to make opt with me. It's disgusting and weird. But basically, a lot of the girls I meet tell a different story. They say I'm too ivory white and ethereal. Ethereal, huh? Let's look up the definition of ethereal. Find out exactly what she's trying to say there. Hold on, even better. Highly refined, delicate, characterized by lightness and insubstantiality, intangible. Or another definition, of or relating to the regions beyond the earth, celestial, heavenly, unworthy, spiritual. Well, they're saying ethereal as if it's a bad thing, so maybe she just has the definition confused for something else? I'm not sure, but still, you should probably use a different word than that. And too skinny, and that I look anorexic, which I don't care about, but I think it's seriously disrespectful to people with real eating disorders. BTW, I'm so totally not anorexic. I eat loads, I just never gain weight. Okay, that's impossible. If you eat like a pig, you're going to gain weight eventually. And I'm not thin enough to be anorexic anyways. I think they were just being biatches, especially this one ratty brain called Ellie Mayfair, who I hope freaking dies in pain with shit on her face. Well, this character is pleasant. Sorry, I'm not really such a batch. Batch? Don't you mean bitch? But she is so horrible, if you met her, you'd think the same. Well, I'm not exactly a big fan of the can collector, but I don't wish death upon him. Let's continue. Anyways, I am quite tall and slim, but with really big boobs that I used to hate because they look noticeable on my slender body and draw too much. Okay, wrong too. It should be T-O-O, not T-O. Too much attention, but now I like them and don't care who stares at me. I have a lip ring and recently put black and indigo and magenta streaks in my long blonde hair. Okay, then it won't be blonde anymore if you put streaks in it. I smell like mint and cinnamon. Do we really need to know all this? Do we? No, we don't. Get on with the story. I wear mostly black and hot pink, deep purple and neon blue, and listen to cool music. It is my first day at school in Forks, as I just moved here to live with new foster parents Dave and Marie. They are nice and all very wholesome, sweet people. That's not how you spell wholesome. First of all, it should be one word, not two. And secondly, that's the wrong whole. It should be W-H-O-L-E, not H-O-L-E. And you keep on saying you had a proofreader look at this. But it is not like having a real family. I've been hurt too many... Okay, again, the wrong two. Too many times to let people close to me, and I don't talk to them very much. My real mom died when I was born, and I never knew my real dad. I sometimes wonder what he is like and if I will ever get to meet him. Dave gave me a ride to school, and I smiled faintly as he wished me good luck, and I got out of the car and went into the school. Loads of people freaking stared at me as I walked down the hall. I was wearing tight black leather pants with silver chains at the side and a red fishnet-like top, and you could see my black lacy bra through it. That's nice, like I really needed to know that. I ignored whispers and the big pink cheerleader imbecile. Oh my god. I can't believe they spelled imbeciles like that. Okay, look. This is how you're supposed to spell imbeciles. I-M. B-E-C-I-L-E. Or if it's plural, it has an S at the end. And this is how they spelled it. I-M-B-O-S-I-L-S. Check your grammar! Pointing at me. I was used to it and I paid no attention. They seriously have a hyphen in the word attention. There's no hyphen in the word attention, so take that out. To the guys asking desperately for my number, like hell I'd even look at the horny little donkeys. And told a ditzy blonde cheerleader called Jessica to STFU. Okay, first of all, write out the actual words and don't abbreviate because it just looks sloppy when you do that. And why is the exclamation point in parentheses when she called me a freak? Next time she tries anything, I'll hit her in the eye because no one messes with me no more. Don't you mean anymore? My first day, I was relay bored. Okay, that's not how you spell really. It's R-E-A-L-Y, not R-E-L-A-Y. And that's the wrong board. I sat gazing out of the window into the gray cloud embittered sky for most of the morning. My teachers all looked at me disapprovable, but said nothing because they probably knew, okay, wrong knew, I was a foster kid and a gothic and didn't want to upset me in case I cut them up as they slept. Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ, another big blob of text to read. My ears are pierced 4 times. Do we really need to know this? I have a tattoo of a scorpion, like S, my birth sign, on my ankle and a gothic cross on my shoulder. Yeah, can we get on with the actual story now, please? And on my hand, I have a weird birthmark in the shape of a 7-pointed star that I've had all my life. And I've had this little blue mark on my right hand for most of my life because back in the 3rd grade, I had a pencil jammed up my palm. So that's why I have a blue mark. Did you guys really need to know that? No, but the thing is, I'm proving a point. And the point is, you do not need pointless information like this in a story! So, get rid of all this lard and get on with the actual story because you're wasting the reader's time with all this stupid crap that we don't need to know about. You're probably wondering why I'm bothering to tell you this. Okay, first of all, it's Y-O-U-R-E, not Y-O-U-R. And secondly, it should be wandering, not wandering. Well, I'll tell you now, I am no ordinary 16-year-old girl. I have a secret. A dark and forbidden secret, which Okay, this is how they spell witch. W-I-T-C-H. That is actually the right spelling of witch, but that's the wrong witch. They mean to use W-H-I-C-H. 2 completely different meanings. One, which is, the cackling one that you see in The Wizard of Oz, and the other witch, well, you get the idea. So let's continue. I am only just beginning to understand. When I sleep, I hear whispers in another language, and even though I understand them at the time, when I wake up, I can't remember it. I also see weird faces in my dreams that fade to nothingness when I open my eyes, and I swear out the corner of my eye, my birthmark glows shocking bright gold and gets relay hot sometimes, but when I look properly, it is back to normal boarding scar color. Okay, that didn't make any sense. I am really graceful, okay. First you're talking about, why you're not a normal person. The next thing you're talking about is how graceful you are. Jeez, not only is this a Mary Sue, it's a conceited Mary Sue. I am really graceful like the running antelopes. It should be antelopes, not antelopes. They have a hyphen separating anti from lopes, so it looks like it says antelopes. It's supposed to be antelopes. When I run very fast am stronger and faster than most people. I used to just think I was relay athletic, but now I'm not so sure. I think there might be something else at work, something so much more mysterious and eerie. The truth hovers so softly on the brink of my memory sometimes, but if only I could remember the weird things that clung to the edge of my mind as I slept. At lunch, I sat alone in the corner and scanned the cafeteria quietly, with my eyes smoldering dark blue beneath my long black lashes and my slim thighs curled under me. Did we really need to know all that? No! It was don't you mean then, I noticed an unbelievably jaw-droopingly hot, okay. This is how they spell hot. H-A-W-T. That's not how you spell it. It's supposed to be H-O-T. And why do you have the word written down 3 times? We know that the person is supposed to be hot, so why do you have it 3 times? Dude with tousled blondie brown. Blondie brown. Blondie brown. Blondie brown. Blondie brown. Blondie brown. I think you mean dirty blonde. You see, there is no such color called blondie brown. This is a word that a 3-year-old would make up. A 3-year-old! So let's read it correctly. Hot dude with tousled, dirty blonde hair, golden yellow eyes like wells of hot hot caramel and pale sexy features. He was tall and muscle and... That's not how you spell muscle. They spell it Mussel. That's not anywhere close to how you spell it. And even if you did spell it right, the word does not belong there. It should say muscular, not muscle. And looked like he was wearing eyeliner, and my body got hot and cold all at once as I looked at him. Okay, my body got hot and cold should be its own separate sentence and not be part of the sentence describing what the guy looked like. I never felt this way about anyone before, and I totally never felt this weird feeling that I'd met someone before but had no idea where, and I knew it was impassable. This is how they spelled impossible. I-M-P-A-S-S-I-B-L-E. That's not how you spell it! Impossible for the stupid author to use a thing called a dictionary. Impossible for the stupid author to use a thing called a spacebar. Impossible for them to do their own research. Impossible for them to separate their sentences. Impossible. And you guys are wondering why I'm insane. These fanfics are really getting to my brain. And something tells me I'm going to lose it soon. So I better find a very good fic, because if I don't, I will throw a fit. Impossible. Things are happening every day. Let's continue to read. Because I freaking remember someone that hot. A girl sat next to him with long brown hair, with her arms dripped over him like a freakish flesh-eating plant. So I thought, well, whatever he has taken. First of all, that's not how you spell whatever. And secondly, you need an apostrophe S in he's, because without it, it just says Hess. She wasn't nearly as hot as he was. She wasn't ugly, though. I figured I was maybe prettier than her. Don't you mean than her? I never really saw myself as beautiful, but I guess from don't you mean things others had said. Plus, this girl wasn't great looking, but anyways, I'd never try to pilch. Pilch? Is that even a word? You know, with other girls, BF. Write out boyfriend and stop abbreviating it, because that's just low. So I got up to leave the hall, thinking I'd go and smoke some bald drugs in the locker room while no one was there. As I walked over to the exit, don't you mean the exit, I couldn't help but notice the hot, pale guy's musky eyes as they met mine. I locked away hurriedly. I smoked dope in the locker room for a bit, then I wandered to my next class. I bumped into someone in the corridor and my box fell everywhere. Frick, frick, frick! Exactly, that's what my mind is saying to me right now. Except it should be replaced with fuck, fuck, fuck. WTF. People, fanfics are not text messages. They are supposed to be stories. So stop writing them like they're text messages. Write out what the fuck. Stop writing down WTF or abbreviating boyfriend to have say BF, because it looks really sloppy. Let's read it appropriately for how it should be written. What the fuck? I screamed loudly. Watch where you're freaking going, you asshole. In parentheses, I have anger problems. No shit, I never would have guessed that. I'm so sorry, he said in a voice like wet heaven. Please forgive me, my lady. It was the hot, pale guy. Well, that's the end of chapter 1. 7 more chapters to go. Oh, joy. A.N. Vincent, or whatever your name is, thanks for the lame review. You total D ****. No one is making you read this fic. If you don't like it, then leave. Celestial Zodiac and Brittany J. Thanks for the advice on my character, but she's not a Mary Sue. She's not quote-unquote perfect. Look, she has anger problems and she looks the way she does for a reason. I will explain as the story goes on. Just because she has anger problems, that doesn't mean she's not a Mary Sue. She is a Mary Sue. Chapter 2. Edward. The anger faded from my sapphire eyes. Don't you mean from? Whatever, I said wait, what? Whatever, I said sweatily. Don't you mean sweetly? I didn't mean to yell and be ride. Don't you mean rude? Thou art too beautiful. Oh my god, that's probably the worst spelling of beautiful I have ever seen. This is how they spelled it. Beautiful. That's not how you spell it. For that, he said. And for once, I didn't feel like cock-dropping the guy for paying me a compliment. Instead, I just smiled. I'm Edward Cullen, he murmured. That's not how you spell murmured. This is how they spell murmured. M-E-R-M-E-R-E-D. That's not how you spell it! Who are thee? Atlantiana Lauren, but you can call me Tiana or maybe Tia. I said, feeling shy at the way he was looking at me. I had seen that look in so many male eyes, but never quite as intense or sexy. His eyes burned like hot gold velvet in the midday sun, like phoenix feathers and rainbows. It's supposed to say phoenix, but they forgot the H, so it just says phoenix. So gold and magical. Thou reminds me of bygone times, he said, carefully retching out a shaking hand and brushing my cheek. Thy face is like an old painting. Thou is exceptional. You're not so shanky yourself, but I couldn't help noticing you have a freaking GF, you ass. I saw you with her in the cafeteria. I notched his hand hard with my long black nails. Thee did notice me then, he purred with a sly grin. I was up against the wall with his face right close to me now. He wanted to sex me, I could tell. And suddenly he was kissing me. I felt like my slim legs would break in half and my heart expanded like a big balloon. I felt his hands sliding softly down my neck and underneath my top. He stoked my breasts for a few minutes and his man carrot Man carrot? Man carrot? Man carrot? And how do they describe a vagina in this story? As a cut open peach? I've heard many descriptions for penis. Manhood. Penis, obviously, would, but never have I ever seen man carrot. Thank you, people. Thank you for the visual. Now every time when I picture a man's penis, I think of a carrot. Thank you very much, author. I really appreciate it. Standing in action and hard as a rock against my legs. And then he ripped my top and pulled it of me and doped it on the floor. We made out for 10 minutes and then he tried to take of my bra, but I pushed him away, suddenly thinking, WTF, Tia, are you just gonna let this total stranger take your clothes off in school where anyone could see you? They just thought of this now? I'd never let a guy kiss me before or touch me, and suddenly I was getting this cheating sicko with a freaking GF grope me just 'cause he was uber hot and with sexy, don't you mean sexy, hair and cold as death. I was acting like a biatch and a slut, and I was suddenly very ashamed of my actions. Bastard, never touch me again, I gasped. If thou thinkst thou can keep thou hands of me, he answered all smug. And I couldn't believe how he made me feel so angry and so aroused at the same time. At that moment, I'd never hated anybody more in my whole life, and the worst part of it is that he is so freaking hot. I was totally creaming my panties, and he knew it. This was horrible. And that's not how you spell horrible. I felt disgusted with myself and turned to leave. Wait, I need to speak to thee. I know, wrong no, your secret, Tia, he said in a quiet voice, gassing into my eyes. Gassing into her eyes. So what is he doing? Farting in her eyes? You're one of my kind. Who made thee? Are you part of a coven or on thou own? What is said sharply, dude, you're insane. Why? What the? What? It's like they started the sentence with quotations and now they're having it with dashes. Whatever. Dude, you're insane and you freaking smell. He didn't really smell, but I didn't know what else to say. Jesus Christ. Thy a campfire Tia, a vampire. But why can't I read thou mind? I thought Bella was the only one, but here thou art. What does this all mean? Okay, does Edward actually speak like this in the books? If not, then this is really stupid that he's speaking like this. He punched the wall with his bulky fist and shouted, suddenly furious, and his eyes flickered red. I schlepped him hard. If they were trying to say slap, they did not spell it anywhere near how it's supposed to spell. This is how you spell slap. I can't believe I'm going to actually spell this out to you because anyone should spell slap. S-L-A-P, and this is how they spelled it. S-C-H-L-E-P-P-E-D. Wow, notice how similar those are? Not. I slapped him hard across the face and tried to leave, but he caught my waist. Wrong waist! And as I struggled and tried to hit him again, he caught my hand in midair and hammed me against the wall where his hand had already made a huge dent in the wall. His face was blunt and right heavy in mine. My knee came up hard against his massive throbbing giggle stick. Giggle stick. Okay, I think this tops me. So this is what it sounds like when he's masturbating. I need a moment. What the bloody hell are you doing? No, I'm fine. Just go back upstairs, okay? I'm sorry about that. Where did I leave off? My knee came up hard against his massive throbbing blank between his legs, and he dropped over in pan. I broke free and goaded my books and started rugging away to math, but Edward had finished with me. Tia! No! He screamed after me, tearing his shirt from himself in fury and throwing it over my eyes. I lost my sight and was behind me breathing into my ears. So she lost her sight and she's breathing into her own ears. Is that even possible? No, it's not, unless you have the mouth of like Lexi, whatever. I'm sorry, Tia, he whimpered sadly, picking me up off the floor and gazing mutely into my eyes. I didn't mean to rut thee. I'm so contemptuous. I apologize. This is just so weird. You're so frickin' weird, you mean, I snapped whitely as he lay on the floor so hot and crying with his shirt off with his pimpling body. I wanted to forgive him for calling me a vampire. Vampire? I'd heard that one before from preppy losers asking if I sleep in a coffin and suck blood like L-E-T-S-E at, just 'cause I like eyeliner and listen to Linkin Park. And making fun of me and trying to force me against the wall and maybe plunder my crevices, but I didn't. I left him crying on the floor and went to find my class. As I entered math class, I suddenly dropped my books again as a flashing pain burned in my left hand as my birthmark glinted gold for a second. No joke. Then I fell over. The pain was suddenly gone and some weirdo blonde freak called Eric was helping me up and staring at me like a pervo rapist. I kicked him in the shoulder, Kung Fu baby, as he gazed longingly after me. In his frickin' dreams. I sat down at the back of the class, unable to think about anything but my weird encounter with Edward Cullen, wondering what it could all mean. A.N. What do you think, please? R&R? But I thought you didn't want criticism. So why should I leave a review if you don't want criticism? Big shout out to my friend Abigail. Good luck for tomorrow. Did you see I put the man carrot thing in? I don't think anyone could have missed that. LMAO. Also love to Tiffy and Ratch and Zachy baby, of course. Love you guys so much. XXX Becky Mac XX. Well, that was chapter 2. 6 more chapters to go. AN. Hi guys, hope you like this one. I'm quite proud of it. Thanks for the support from my friends. Love you girls. Glad you like it. Oh, and Vincent, you're so dumb. Of course Tia didn't go to math only her bra. She's not a total ditz. Well, you didn't exactly say if she put her bra on or not, you idiot. One more time. Don't read if you don't like it. No frickin' flames. What is the point of flaming people? There is no point, so F off. Well, maybe they're not flaming. Maybe they're actually trying to give you some honest critique and you're just not listening to them. Caper 3. Don't you mean chapter 3? Uncle Larry. I sat alone watching TV at Dave and Mary's house. Wow, the grammar in that is just awful. It should say sat, not SAT. And Dave and Mary's, seeing their names, they should be capitalized, and Mary's should have an apostrophe S, seeing it's their house. I couldn't stop thinking about my encounter with Edward Cullen earlier that day. He was so oh my god. Every time they spell beautiful, they seem to mangle it more and more. And sexo-y. With such amazing hair and eyes, I could hardly believe he had noticed someone like me. But I was angry at how he had made me feel. How I'd burnt like crimson hot flame when he touched me, and how he'd not listened to me when I told him to fring off. Well, maybe he doesn't understand what the word fring means. And how he dared to touch me at all when he had a GF anyways. Even if she was a mean girl with an ugly heart and not that hot. But no matter how much I tried to hate him, I simply couldn't. Suddenly the phone rang. Hello. Hey, is that Atlantiana? Yeah, who is this? I said. I'm not even going to bother. It's Mike Newton from your class. I was wondering if you wanted to go to La Plush with me tomorrow. They don't have tomorrow as one word. They have it as two words. Two with T-O-O and morrow as its own. It's one word, you idiot! One word! There's a party at the beach with whole crowd of us going, and I thought you seemed really nice, so I thought maybe you'd want to me my date, please. Aren't you the guy who hangs out with the all pathetic cheerleaders and stuff? I asked. You mean Bella and Jessica's gang? Sometimes, I guess, but they're way shallow and not as hot as you, and they can be mean sometimes. Then why do you hang white them when you what? Then why do you hang out white them then, you shallow creep? Okay, that didn't make any sense. And why would anyone want to date this character? Because she comes across as being very mean and shallow. And why are you asking me out when you barely know me, Mike? Don't you mean barely know me? Because you think I'm hot? Why can't you see you're just as shallow if you want to date someone just cost of what they look like? I'm not that pretty anyways. Even if I was, I'm so screwed up in the bran, you can't even imagine. You would want to date me if you knew how screwed up I was. I would believe, they didn't even spell believe right. Believe me, I would. You are so beautiful you can't even imagine. You're so pretty. People lose their minds when you're around and forget their names and forget to breathe. The grammar is getting so bad at this point, but if I keep on going on about it, this review is going to be like 3 hours long. How can't you have noticed that? And I don't care how screwed up you are. It only made you more interesting. You're cool and different, and you are honest about stuff. You are right to be angry with me. I'm sorry for being shallow and dumb. Just give me a chance to show you how much I care, please. Well, okay, maybe I'll go along if I don't have anything else to do, I said, not believing a word he said about how pretty I was. Thank you, Atlantiana. Thank you so much. He sounded so happy. I couldn't help but smile as I put the phone down, but my smile faded as I returned to my thoughts. Mike Newton was kinda cute and seemed like an okay guy, but he was nothing next to Edward Cullen. Even though I was don't you mean angry with Edward than I have ever been with anyone in my life, and part of me wanted to chop his head off with a saw. With a saw? A sore? Oh, I have a sore thumb. I'm going to use it to chop your head off. Don't you mean sword? A part of my soul would always remain in that corridor where he had kissed so hard and passionately. I creamed myself. My heart had soared that day like never before, and I knew that no one else would ever make me feel that way again. Then I thought how he was a cheater and a bastard, and my face burnt with shame. I couldn't believe I had behaved like such a whore. That's not even how you spell whore, for God's sake. I was scared to the effect he had on me. Bye, Ty. We'll be back on Thursday, okay? Mary put her head rind. Huh? Mary put her head rind the door suddenly. I can't even make out what that's supposed to mean. Let's move forward. Okay, then, have fun, I whispered clammily. Dave and Marie were visiting relatives for a few days. If it's supposed to be more than one day, it should say a few days. Days should be plural. You look so pretty, she says, smiling. You're the prettiest grill I've ever seen. Yeah, she's a grill. OMG, whatever, I reply. I hate it when people say that. My god, this person's such a bitch. People are trying to compliment her and she's like, oh, I hate you. I pulled my blonde hair over my face. Strange, I thought it had magenta and other colors in it, so it wouldn't actually be blonde. I was wearing a short, hot pink dress cut low with black lace frills at the bottom and black lace stockings. Dave's brother Larry will be looking after you while... That's not how you spell while! We're gone. You'll be okay when we're gone, won't you, Taya? I hate to leaving you alone like this. I don't need a freaking babysitter, you know. I was so embarrassing. Yes, you really are embarrassing. I could look after myself. Marie smiles and leaves the house. Oh, how charming. She's being a bitch again. Oh. Greetings, Latnania. My name's Uncle Larry, said Uncle Larry. He came in through the door. He was fat and bald with tiny black eyes and a red face. Hey, I said. You're the orphan, aren't you? He says. Is it true you killed your mother when she gave birth to you? What? I cry, my eyes filling with tears. You're an evil bitch, aren't you? Go outside and wash my car, he shouts angrily. I stood up and left to wash his car. I got soap and a bucket, afraid of what he would do if I refused. Okay, this is just getting weird. I went outside and started to wash Hush's car. It was red Porsche. He came outside and watched me, and I knew he was watching me. After a minute, he came over and hit me hard across the face. WTF, I shouted. He poured, okay, this is how they spell poured, P-O-O-R-E-D. That's not how you spell it. He poured the bucket of water all over me and hit me again. I was wet and crying, and he started to rip my dress and bra of me and rip my clothes. He touched my naked breast, and I tried to push him off of me. I screamed at him to stop, but he didn't. He bent me over the bonnet of his car and spanked me on the ass for a half an hour, then pulled my panties down and started to rape me. Stop raping me, I cried, but he didn't. The pain was terrible, even though his manhood was small. Well, at least he didn't call it a man carrot. I cried and cried, but he didn't stop for hours, and when he finally stopped, he left me on the floor and spat in my face and left me there. I pulled on my clothes and cried madly and ran off into the seething darkness of the midnight street. I ran until I came to some woods and then fell down in the woods and cried. Suddenly, a blast of light exploded in head, and my mark on my hand burned like a flame. So what, is this supposed to be ripping off Harry Potter in a sense too? Is Lord Voldemort going to show up out of nowhere and then try to kill her? I'm expecting that. I closed my eyes and saw the face of a tall white man looking over me with no expression. His eyes were burning red and his face glimmered cold and bright as the moon. I fell back from the brightness of his body. His hair was dark as night. Atlantiana, he whispered in a voice softer than clouds. My daughter? Huh? OMG, I whispered as my mind went blank and the world went dark. Well, that was chapter 3. 5 more chapters to go. A.N. No flames, please. There's no point. If you don't like my story, don't read it. It's as simple as that. Well, I'm sorry. My job as the fanfic critic is to read these fanfics whether I like them or not. That's the job of critics. By the way, Atlantia is not Mary Sue because, look, she is not perfect and not everyone in the story likes her. She is still a Mary Sue. She's a Mary Sue. It doesn't matter what you try to claim, she is a Mary Sue. Jeez. She has problems and she has flaws and she's unhappy Would you like her life? No, I wouldn't. It's totally tragic and horrible. You flavors aren't even making sense. No, you're not the one making sense, lady. Chapter 4, La Push. I sat quietly on the La Push beach platform, the party that was going on beside me. Mike Newton was following me around like a pulpy, don't you mean puppy, and he was so boring. None of the things he had to say were interesting, but I was nice to him because he wasn't a bad guy. My thoughts were elsewhere. I couldn't stop thinking about the events of last night, when Uncle Larry had raped me and I had my scary vision in the forest and a tall, pale guy in my mind had Kale me his daughter? Don't you mean called me his daughter? I didn't understand any of. I felt so awful that I had been wrapped by my hideous pervy sicko when I had been saving myself for the right guy and for marriage, and my virginity was torn from my grasp by that twisted guy. It was so cruel and unfair and made me want to cry. OMG, Mike, what are you doing talking to her? I turned round and saw 4 nasty faces leering at us. It was the cheerleaders I had seen in the cafeteria, and one of them was the girl dating, okay, you do not need the E in dating, Edward Cullen, the brown hair. That's not how you spell wrong hair. It should be H-A-I-R, not H-A-R-E. Brown hair girl who was standing at the back looking moody but not saying anything. Stop being mean, Jessica, Mike said angrily. Ty is awesome, and if you can't see that, it's just you being blind and shallow and stupid like you always are. I mean, look at her clothes. She looks like a stupid biatch with her slutty top and short skirt and fifth net tights. Is she a rat hooker or what? Jessica screamed. She was really ugly when she shouted, even though she was technically a hot chick and was dressed in skimpy pink clothes. You know what, Jess? You and your friends are so shallow, and you are the real slut. You and Bella and Angela and Lauren may wear short skirts and low cut tops and stuff, but that doesn't make you beautiful. It's what underneath that counts, Mike shouted. Yeah, speaking of which, again they used the wrong witch, said a sly blonde girl in the gang who was called Lauren, pointing at me. What's with her breasts? They are huge. I bet they're fake. She laughed, and her friends all laughed too, even Bella and Angela, who had been quiet until then. I got up and pushed past them and ran away into the darkness. I could hear them all laughing at me, and I felt so embarrassed, and I was really sensitive about the waist I looked. Don't you mean the way I look? I hated the fact that it made all girls hate me and all guys stare at me. I would have given anything to be ugly or just inviolable. I wasn't stuck up, and I didn't think I was better than anyone else because of how I looked. I just wanted people to treat me like a normal person. I couldn't help being slim and blonde with relay big boot. I really wish they would stop saying she's blonde, because she mentioned in the first chapter that she has like different highlights in her hair, so that wouldn't make her blonde. With relay big boobs, it wasn't my fault. I hadn't done anything wrong. Are you okay? Said someone from beside me. Who are you? I asked. 3. They used the number 3 instead of the word 3, and you guys have already heard this argument from me 50 billion times. Use the actual word! 3 really pretty goth girls were standing there smiling at me, and I smiled back. We are Tiffany, Abigail, and Rochelle, they said, smiling. You seem cool. Do you want to be our friends? Don't you mean friends, seeing that there's just one of Taya and a bunch of them? Yeah, of course. I'm just a bit melancholy because those horrible cheerleaders were being mean jerks and saying my boobs were fake, I said. There's a ton of grammar mistakes, but at this point I'm just kind of skipping over them unless I find one that's unskippable, if you know what I mean. OMG, you mean Jessica and Bella's gang? They hate us too because we don't care what they think, said Ty Funny. They are just jealous because you're the prettiest girl in school now and they're all playing next to you, but we don't care about stuff like that. We only care about people's personalities. Cool, I said, and we talked for hours. I talked to Tiffany, Rochella, and Abigail for hours, and they were so cool. I never had proper friends before who didn't care what I looked like or where I came from. They just liked me for me. And I liked them because they were uber cool and we had loads of stuff in common. But after a while, they all went home and I stayed on the beach. It was getting late, but I didn't want to go home to Uncle Larry in case he raped me on his car again. Suddenly, I heard a voice from behind me. Well, Taya, thou seem to be causing quite a stir at school. His voice was smooth and sexo-y and from another time. Edward. What do you mean? I demanded. Basically, every gay at school... Don't you mean guy? At school wants to have sex with thee and every girl wants to eat thee alive for it. How's that for causing a stir, my lady? He smiled and kissed my neck. Shut up, jerk. BTW, I met your girlfriend before, Bella I think her name is. I don't like her or anything, but how the hell can you cheat on her like that and kiss me how you did? It's sick, you're a cheating bastard and I should tell everyone. Tiffany told me you and Bella are like the school's golden couple or something. What would happen if I told people, okay, they abbreviated people, the text version, how you acted in that corridor with me? OMG, sweet lady, thou must not tell anyone, he screamed. It was a moment of madness, that's all. I'm so sorry for what happened. I hope thine can forgive me, but I've promised myself to Bella, and that's how it is, no matter how much thou entrusts me. Fine, then stay away from me, I shouted as I left to go home, but he followed me and grabbed me and pushed me down on the grind. I was burning with anger and fury, but I wanted him so deftly I didn't even try to resist him. He knew how much I wanted him, and it drove me mad. He put his hands inside my panties, and I gasped. I was suddenly desperate to sex with him, and I tore my clothes off, and I was in my underwear. I took off my bra and showed him my naked, heaving breasts. Have sex with me now, Edward, I whispered. I can't, he said, although his body was on top of mine and his fingers touched my nipples. Please, I'm begging you, I said, hating myself for being such a dirty whore but unable to control my burning desire. No, he shouted and ran away crying. I put my clothes back on, slowly feeling so ashamed and embarrassed I could hardly move. I couldn't believe I had begged him to do sex on me. And even worse, he had said no. I went home and Uncle Larry made me cook his dinner and suck his cock while he ate his food, and then he raped me and hit me with a shoe all night, and I didn't even complain because I felt like I deserved it for being such a horrible slut, even though it made me want to die inside. Uncle Larry finally left me alone, and I thought about killing myself as I cried and cried as I slowly fell into a dreamless sleep. Well, we're halfway done with the story. Let's move on to chapter 5. Author's note. Can I have some reviews, please? You have no idea what you're asking for, sweetie. Chapter 5. The Talent Contest. It was a week later, and I felt like I was slowly dying inside. My life had crumbled into pieces, and I was alone in the horrible darkness of my mind. The 4 cheerleaders had followed me around school and been mean to me for the last week, making fun of my clothes and my purple-streaked blonde hair and saying I was too slim and that I had boobs like a prawn star. A relay upset me, and also Uncle Larry had taken my clothes off and wrapped me loads of times last week, even though Dave and Marie were back home now. Every time they went out to different places, they left me with him, and he hit me and made me sleep with was so horrible. I wanted to die every time it happened. Edward Cullen stared at me whenever he saw me at school, but I just ignored him. I think they mean ignored him, and pretended he wasn't there. I was so embarrassed about what happened, and I hated him for the way he made me feel and the fact that he was a cheater and an ass. I would probably have ended my life that week if it hadn't been for my lovely new friends Abigail, Rochella, and Tiffany. They're not even spelling the names right. It's ridiculous. Who were all totally cool and helped me fight off the evil cheerleaders. I hadn't told my friends Aboit, Uncle Larry, and Edward, but it was nice to have some people who liked me anyways. I sat in the cafeteria with them at lunch. Hey Tiana, what are you doing Hey Tiana, are you doing the talent contest tonight? Rochelle asked me. No way, I'm not good enough, I said shyly. OMFG, are you kidding? You're amazing don't you mean an amazing singer? You're the best I've ever heard, no joke. I think another quality of Mary Sue's is that they have a really good singing voice. So I think this right here proves that your character is a Mary Sue, dumbass. Thank you, but you're just being nice. I'm not that good, and even if I was, I wouldn't perform. I mean, I hardly want to contract more attention to myself than I already have. The whole school is already talking about me saying what a freak I am. I just want to be an average person. Come on, Taya, you have to do it, Tiffany said. Jessica and Bella and the cheerleaders win every time with their dumb dance routine. It is so annoying. They aren't even talented. Someone needs to teach them a lesson, hon. I don't know. Maybe I plimpled? Does this author like to make up words or something? I plimpled mutely but had no intention of actually doing it. Later on, me and my friends sat in the crowd and watched the contest. The cheerleaders did their dance routine, and they weren't that awesome. They were just wearing slutty clothes so all the guys could stare at them, and because they were popular, no one was allowed to say they sucked. At the end, Bella ran into Edward's arms, and I felt flames of jealousy burning up inside me. They kissed for a long time, and although he looked at me the whole time, I still wanted to cry and scream. The principal caked up on the stage and said, "Caked up on the stage? Don't you mean walked up on the stage?" And now for our final act. Atlantiana, Rebecca, Lauren. Everyone looked at me and I was shocked. OMFG, who put my frickin' name down for this? I screamed. Who knows, girl, just get up there. Abby pushed me towards the stage and I went up there. Oh, jeez. I sang Total Eclipse of the Heart, punk rock version, so it wasn't sappy or lame or anything, zero, and everyone watched me. I was embarrassed at first, but everyone seemed to be enjoying themselves, except the cheerleaders, who looked totally mad, laugh out loud. So I sang louder and louder, and my voice soared higher than ever, was like magic. I was wearing a purple lacy top, cut low enough that you could see my bra, and a black skirt with purple fishnets and spiky black heels. The song finished and everyone looked happy and clangled at me. Clangled? I swear this person's making up words. They must be making up words. And I went blushing to sit on my friends. Yeah, I'm sure they really appreciate you sitting on them. Remind me to kill whichever one of you beaches put my name down for this, I said, but I was smiling. Laugh out loud, shouted Rochella. It wasn't us, It wasn't us, you know. And the winner is Atlantiana, Rebecca, Lauren. Wow! I'm so shocked! Not! The principal screamed ecstatically. Don't you mean ecstatically? I went back onto the stage and shook his hand, and everyone applauded me and screamed my name except for Jessica and Bella, who looked like they were about to kill me. A-O, my eyes straight to where Edward stood gazing baldly at me. I almost fainted right then at the sight of him looking so hot and gorgeous. I didn't think anyone else had noticed, but he had a massive erection. It was so hot and sexo-y. I saw Bella and Jessica storming out of the room angrily that I had won, and I smiled. Later on, I walked home happily. Then a car purred up beside me. What is it, a cat? It was Edward. Get in the car. I'll drive thee home, sweet lady, he said in his beautiful old-fashioned speech. I did as he told me without knowing we're quite for a midnight. Okay. You were awesome tonight. You have a stunning voice like silk and satin in the moonlight. You looked beyond beautiful up on that stage, like an old painting in a church. I wanted to charge right at you and kiss thine lips right there. He still had a huge erection and I wanted to touch it so badly, but I didn't. I think Bella might have had something to say about that, I snapped. Where is she? New way. At home sulking because she lost the contest and had a total hissy fit and cried for hours because thee was better than her in the contest. How mature, I said sarcastically. At that moment, Edward pulled his car aside out of the road and looked me in the touched my hand, and I slapped him hard in the face. You will never touch me again, you sicko hash mark. I wailed and kept hitting him in the face and chest. Last week I fucking begged you to sex on me and you turned me down. I have never been so humiliated in all my frickin' life. What the hell is wrong with you? One mimite. It's supposed to say minute, but they spelled it M-I-M-I-T-E. 1 minute, you're all over me, and the next, it's like I didn't even exist. Didn't fucking touch me ever. It's complicated. Okay, this is how they spell complicated. C-O-M-P-L-E-C-A-T-E-D. That's not how you spell it! My lady, I'm sorry I hurt thine feelings. It's just I can't resist thee, but I can't be with thy either. I never meant to drag thou into this mess. It's not thee fault. I totally ruined everything. I'm so sorry. I'm despicable. Despicable? Don't you mean despicable? It's me or her, I said bluntly. I can't make that choice, Tia, he wept. You are going to have to. First, thee have to tell me who thou really are. Who are your parents? What are thee? My mom dies when I was bored. I never knew my father. That's it, I said. We both know that's not the full story. You're a vampire like me. OMFG, I'm not a freaking vampire. I think I'd have noticed, you total dipshit. You don't drink human blood, he asked. I don't drink any blood, you asshole. Is this your idea of a joke? 'Cause no one's laughing. I got out of the car and ran away feeling insulted. I didn't want to see that stupid hot jerk ever again. I went home, but I couldn't get rid of the memory of his sharp erection and deadly cold body. I cut myself and went to sleep in tears. 3 more chapters to go. A.N. Didn't all attack me for the things writing about this chapter about Taya's parents. I haven't explained everything yet, and it will make more sense later. Okay. Chapter 6, The Curse. Oh, Edward, with your skin so white, your eyes like amber out of sight, pale angel in my eyes, hair like gold rosy sunrise. I read the words of my poem out quietly. I had written a poem about Edward. I just couldn't help myself. I hated myself for doing it, but I couldn't get him out of my mind, and it was the only way I could deal with my feelings. Suddenly, my mind went black, and I felt into a trance. A tall, pale man stood in front of me, all ghosty and misty, like he was only half there. My daughter, he moaned. Who are you? I whisper quietly. This is how they spelled whispered, or whisper. W-I-S-P-A. That's not even close to how you spell it. I am your father. I am Cius from Volturi. You're in terror and peril, my daughter. Beware the vampire boy called Edward. Why? I said. You mustn't. That's not how you spell mustn't. You mustn't let him sex you, or the curse your mother tried to protect you from will fall on you. You'll become a vampire, and you will never be safe. Only as a human can you be safe from them. Then he faded, and I was awake, and Uncle Larry was standing at my door. Take your clothes off, you moldy slut, said Uncle Larry, and he smiles horribly with his yellow teeth. No, I won't, I screamed, but Uncle Larry came over and hit me. I was strong for my size, but he was a huge fat man, like 300 pounds in weight and stronger than me. He took my clothes off and chained me to the bed. I knew he was going to rape me again, but at the moment someone came running into the room and hit Uncle Larry across the head with a stick and knocked him out cold. Uncle Larry laid there bleeding, and I looked up at Edward! Wow! Why am I not shocked? OMG, my sweet lady, he cried. What has this frightful asshole been doing to thee? He's been raping me and hitting me. I wept sadly as Edward unchained me and put my clothes back on. Edward turned away Wail. Don't you mean while? While I dressed so he wasn't perving on me, and he looked down at the poem I had written. Oh my God. For true, these are the most beautiful words I've ever seen. It makes me feel so very moved, he cried. I wish I wasn't promised to someone else, then I could write poems for thee. Why are you promised to Bella anyways? I asked. Because I made a promise and I can't break it. It would be rude and ungentlemanly. Bella never used to be like she is now. When I first met her, she was sweet and shy and was never nasty, but about everybody, but she has changed, and so have her friends. I don't know what made her change. Maybe it is mine fault. She just seems angry all the time now. Yeah, that makes sense, I guess, I said. We left the house and went to walk in the woods. We talked about loads of things, and it turned out we had a lot in common. We liked the same music and movies and books and stuff. It was like magic. I know maybe Bella is unhappy because you guys are not in love like you used to be, and you should break up with her so she can move on and you can be both happy, I said. She always used to say that she'd kill herself if I left her. I could not be responsible for her death. I just don't get what has happened to her. She used to be so nice and sweet like thou, my lady. And now I'm falling in love with thou, and it is such a darn mess. He hit a tree in frustration and broke it. He was so strong. I guess 'cause he was a vampire. You're falling in love with me? I asked, my cheeks going all red and my heart starting to soar. OMG, forget I said that. He looked really embarrassed, and it was so cute. He had a big erection, too. I reached out and grabbed his hard-throbbing male object. Just say penis! Penis. Penis, 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 penis. Is it really that hard to write down? Stop with these stupid words like giggle stick and man carrot and male object. Just call it a penis. Hell, even call it a manhood. I don't care. Just stop calling it these other things. We couldn't control ourselves anymore. We both fell on the floor and got naked and made love. Well, that was probably the most abrupt sex scene I've ever read. It was amazing and lasted hours, and I had never been so happy in my life. I felt like I could die with happiness. But after a while, Edward started to freak out and cry. I have been such a fool, he screamed. I should not have let that happen. I hope thee can forgive me. I must return to Bella, and he ran away. I could not believe it. It was like my world was caving in all about me. I was so shocked and angry I could not even cry or scream, but I lay there and I started to feel different, like really different. I suddenly remembered what my father had said to me about not making sex with Edward or he would turn me into a vampire. My skin was getting all hard and pale. My eyes could suddenly see a lot clearer than before. I could hear lots of little noises, even from really far away. I even wanted to drink blood, and I could smell a human coming closer. He was almost here. There you are, you horrid slug. It was Uncle Larry. Where have you been? I'm going to rape you now. Something in me snapped. I jumped at him and broke his neck and drank his blood. I had always been strong for my size, but now I was super strong. He looked so surprised and it was so good. Soon I dropped him on the floor and he was dead. 6 chapters down, 2 more to go. Thanks for the reviews. Chapter 7, Surprises! I woke up sheepishly and wondered where I was for a minute. I got out of bed wondering if all the things that happened to me last night were just a dream. I went downstairs for breakfast and sat down with Dave and Mary. They looked at me and smiled adoringly. Wow, Tia, I love your new hair and contact lenses. You look so beautiful, said Marie with her face all bright in happiness. Shouldn't you say bright and happy? I got up and looked in the mirror. Holy shite. I looked totally different. For the first time I could see my face was truly beautiful. It was even prettier than before. My eyes were weird silver color like wet pools of noble moonlight in distant meadows, and my ivory gold hair seemed to shimmer like the sun's burned rays in the morning, with the purple streaks shining like neon lilac. It was radiant and magical and looked awesome. My skin was even more pale than before, and my features more delicate and queen-like. My nose was small and dashing, and my cheeks were high and pale, and my chin was soft but majestic. I was amazed. Suddenly the phone rang and nuked me out of my silent staring. Dave answered it. What? Oh my god, you're kidding. This is inconsiderable. And he hung up. What's happened, honey? Marie asked, smiling. Uncle Larry is dead. It looks like he was ripped apart by a wild beast. I feel so bad. He was my brother. I suddenly remembered what I had done, and I screamed and I ran to school. I felt so awful and guilty, they spelled guilty wrong, for what I had done. I knew Uncle Larry was a perv and a racist, and even though he had raped me and tied me up and spanked me and made my life hell, I still shouldn't have killed him. I was going to explode with guilt. I ran through the forest towards the school, but suddenly a large thing appeared in front of me. It was a bear, a big panda bear. It was huge and fluffy and really cute, but I was scared as this was a totally weird thing to happen. Greetings, Atlantiana, it said. I was totally freaked out. Since when did panda bears live in forks? And since when do they speak? I was totally confused. WTF, I screamed. I'm a panda bear. My name is Snooflanty Tatuna, but you can call me Snoofles. A talking panda bear? I shouted furiously. I cannot talk like humans can, but you're not human anymore, so you can understand me. You can talk to animals. You probably have other powers too, you just don't know it yet. Like what? I don't know, touch that tree, said Snoofles, smiling at me. I don't believe there was talking panda bears in Twilight either. I touched the tree and concentrated hard, and even though it was winter, the tree suddenly started to bloom huge bunches of flowers. How was it winter if they were at the beach not that long ago? The flowers cascaded down like a river onto the bare forest. I took my hand away in horror. The flowers were so beautiful they made me think of Edward. Then I remembered how he had left me after we made love, and I became angry. I touched another tree and it burst into flames. It was as if the trees turned into things that somehow reflected how I was feeling. OMG, how is this possible? I said. Don't ask me, I'm just a panda, laugh out loud, said Snoofles with a big grin as he raised his eyebrows. But I'm so happy to find a person who can understand my speaking. I always wanted a human friend. Will you be my human friend? Yeah, well, okay, I said, but I have to go to school now, so I'll see you later, Snoofles, okay? That's cool, said Snoofles. I'll see you later. I ran away and was totally weirded out by my meeting with Snoofles. I was almost in a trance at school, and even though people stared at me and made comments about my new appearance, I never cared less. In gym class, I ran around dressed in my gym clothes. I was playing dodgeball, and the cheerleaders kept throwing their balls at me really hard like biatches, but I was dodging them at a speed of light. Lauren came over to me and tries to hit me over the face with her balls, but I slapped her in the face. WTF, you freaky goth Tudor bitch, she shouted with her ugly face flapping like a big bag. Leave me alone. Yeah? I said, looking more beautiful than ever. No, I'll never leave you alone because you're so weird. What has happened to your face? It's like you're from another planet. You're so pale and delicate, it's freaking everyone out, and we all hate you. I was so mad, I pushed her, but my hands touched her arms. Her skin started to blister and froth in really gross ways, and she got struck by a bolt of lightning. She wasn't dead or anything, but she looked totally disgusting, and she got taken to the hospital. Something tells me that that didn't happen in Twilight either. I didn't look for my friends, and after gym class I sat in the changing room while everyone had left and cried because I felt sorry for what I had done to Uncle Larry and to Lauren. I was there wearing a very short leather mini dress and red ripped tights and a skull necklace and a gothic top hat with feathers on it. Suddenly I heard voices from behind me. Don't you mean a voice? Tia, Tia, it is I, Edward Cullen, said Edward. What is with this guy? He really is a stalker, isn't he? I turned to look at him and he gasped in a high-pitched way and fell over onto the floor. I was mad at him and totally upset about other stuff, so I didn't check to see if he was okay. He got up in a minute. I fainted, tired. That was so beautiful and exquisite. I lost my contentiousness. I think they mean consciousness. Thy face is even more sacred and filled with shining glory than before. I am amazed. But then he noticed I was crying tears of soft blood, and he said, What is wrong with thee? Said Edward. I killed someone, Edward. I killed my uncle and drank his blood, and I think I made Lauren get struck by lightning. It's okay, Ty. He was evil, and none cares about Lauren. Edward says to comfort me, and he put his arms around me. Still, what I did was awful, and anyways, get off of me. I stood up and shook him off of me. Don't come near me ever again. I haven't forgiven you for what happened last night. We did sex and you left me there in the forest. I'm sorry. I cannot stay away from thee, and yet I cannot be with thee. He cried and he threw his hands up and wept. Make your mind up, Edward. This is a serious thing. Either stay here with me now and screw me, or be with me forever, or leave and go be with Bella. Make your choice right now. I choose the Atlantia. Bella is a big mean cow and I can't be with her anymore. I will never leave thy side again, my lovely damsel. He started to cry and I kissed him. He was so amazing. His yellow eyes and tousled auburn hair, and so I guess he has changing hair color now, and pale skin made me want to screw him all the time. I'd never seen anyone look so perfect. I took off my dress and was only wearing my underwear, and I sat on his knee and we kissed a lot. He touched me all over the place. I felt dizzy and weak. And they used the wrong weak, by the way. Do you mean it, Edward? You'll be mine forever? I does. I shall be thy mate, he said beautifully, in his smooth, hot velvet voice. I found some handcuffs on a bench and I tied him to a hook. He was unable to move, and I took off his pants and took his pants down and looked at his throbbing lavender. Lavender? I would be a little worried if it was lavender. Took off his lavender man fruit thing. This is getting ridiculous. It was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. I put it in my mouth and sucked it, and he thrusted madly until he had an orgasm in my mouth. The hot juice flowered in my mouth, and it was magical. Suddenly, a voice came from behind me. What do you think you're doing, you evil rodent people? I hate you. I hate both of you, and now I'm going to kill myself. It was Bella Swan. Wow, I certainly saw that happening. Okay, it looks like we have one more chapter to go. Oh, God. Hey guys, sorry it's been so long since an update. I have been so busy lately, so I had to fight with my old beta, but now I have a new one now, and she is helping me buy it. She is on vacation this week and next, so I promise I will sort the spelling mistakes out when I can. Oh, great, as if the spelling wasn't bad enough already. Chapter 8, The Kidnap. I sat alone in the changes room. I was almost naked and looked awesome with my exotic lithely hair falling down all over my face and a curtain of soft yellow cream with bits of purple in it. But I didn't care how beautiful or exquisite I was anymore. Edward was gone. He had left to follow Bella to stop her from killing herself, and I was so mad. How could he leave me like that after saying Bella was a cow and that he didn't like her no more? I was pissed, and the tears were flowing down my face like a tepid summer rain of misery and woe. So I went home and skipped school and sat in my room in my black corset and leather panties and smoked some drugs and started to weep. Dave came in and made a big smiley face. Hi, Taya. I didn't know you were home. How was school today? He didn't notice I was smoking drugs. He thought my cigarette was pot was chapstick. Well, he must be really stupid or he needs to check his glasses. It sucks. My life sucks and I want to die. I screamed and my eyes glared with beauty. You teenagers and your problems. Laugh out loud, he said, laughing a lot. And I knew he thought I was just some silly kid whining about homework and dumb boys and stuff. He didn't know I had killed a man and lost the love of my life and had made Lauren get hit by lightning and that all the kids at school thought I was a freak because of my face and bodies were so different from everyone else's. Dave, you're a good person, but you're so fucking dumb, you asshole. I shouted at him and I threw my ashtray at his head without touching it. I could make stuff move when I was angry now. It was so weird. Why did this have to happen to me? Haha, I guess you're right, he laughed. He thought I was joking. I wasn't spoiled or anything. It's so nice having you here, Tia. You're so pretty. I swear you're even prettier than before. And I think your boobs have grown. Yeah, I know they are like an E-cup now, I said. Dave smiled and patted me on the head and left. Wow, he is stupid. I was so sick of being treated like a kid and no one listening to me that I got up and got dressed and in a long black dress and took some pills of drugs, duh, and went to the local nightclub, which was called Pablo Nightmare. It was a goth club where all the cool people went in Forks. Bella probably had never even heard of it, laugh out loud. I met Snoofles on the way and he came with me. We went to the club and got drinks and started dancing to the heavy metal music. And people aren't questioning why there's a big panda bear in the club. People there stared at us because I was so different looking and Snoofles was a panda, but we didn't care. We were having so much fun. We were so drunk and had taken a lot of drugs, so my head was fuzzy like there was snow everywhere. Hi, you're called Tiana, aren't you? I am Jasper and I go to your school, said Jasper Cullen, who was tall with blonde curly hair like straw, only soft and nice but not dry. He was tall. He was wearing black pullover and metal pointy shoes. A.N. Haha, the description sounded better in my head, oh well. This shows that the author does not give a shit about her story in reality. Hey, whatever, I said. At least I spelled whatever right for once. Why aren't you with that girl I see you with all the time? You mean my GF Alice? He said and walked away suddenly very sad and started to cry and bite down hard on his lips. What's wrong, Jasper? I said. The problem is I don't love her like she loves me. I am gay, and that's wrong, and I feel so horrible about it. There's nothing bad about being gay, so you know, I said. Really? He said. This is how they spelled said. S-E-D. That's not how you spell it. He said and looked chalked with his mouth open. Yeah, it's proper normal and Snoofles is gay and everything, I said, and Snoofles waved and Jasper waves back. He smiled and we all stared, dancing together, and Jasper gave us some of his drugs. We had a really good time and Jasper met another gay guy called Vince, and we all got in Snoofles' car at the end of the night and drove around while the others all had sex in the back of the car. I was drunk, but because I was a vampire, it was okay to drive. I had better reflex than humans. But suddenly something jumped into the road in front of us and I had to stop the car and get out. There was a man standing in the middle of the road and he was tall and muscly and had black hair like the black feathers of a raven and black in the black darkness. He was good looking, but he looked so angry I got out my samurai sword. I often have it with me. And where would you put it exactly, seeing you're constantly wearing skimpy clothes? Are you going to stuff it in your bra? Is it like a hoi poi capsule from Dragon Ball where you take it out and you throw it and that's how you make the sword? But someone jammed up behind me and tore it from me. There were like 10 people out grabbing my body in the darkness, and they pulled a thing over my face so I couldn't see, and they tied me up. Jasper, Snooples, and Vince were too busy doing gay sex on each other to notice. I could hear them grunting and humping and having orgasms on each other. It was so cute, but now was so not the time. The men who had caught me took me away, and something hit me over the head, and I was unconscious. This is how they spelled unconscious. UNCONSHOUS. Let's continue. When I awoke, I found myself in a small dark room, and the tall muscle man, they keep on spelling muscle wrong by the way, wasn't in front of me. I was striped down to my underwear and was chained to a chair with some metal chains, and I couldn't move. Who are you, you wanky perv? I shouted. I am Jacob, the werewolf king, he yelled with his eyes rolling around in his face. He looked so mad and crazy. No, I screamed as I tried to break myself free, but I was under so many heavy chains, so I looked into his waggling face instead. What do you want from me? Why am I here? I said, and I started to cry. You must be punished for what you did to Bella Swan, he shrieked, and the drool was sloping down his face like rain, only thick and foam-like. You are a half-bred. You should never have been born. Your father was a vampire and your mom was a witch. Okay, they've been using the proper witch, as in a magical witch. They've been using the proper spelling for that, for the word that's not supposed to be witch. But when they actually use the real meaning for witch, they spell the word wrong. Ugh. It's weird and wrong, and now you've broken Bella's heart. Half-breed, half-breed, half-breed. This dude was insane. He was so angry he was jumping up and down, but something he said caught my attention. What do you mean my mom was a witch? I said. My father used to know her. She lived here in La Push, and she was a witch. She could make fire come from nowhere and control the weather and talk to animals and loads of other stuff. She was a freak like you. Well, at least this kind of explains why she has magical powers that vampires don't have. Of course, it all made sense now. I was so shocked I fainted. When I woke up, Jacob was in front of me and he was naked. He was smiling in a proper creepy way and looked totally weird, like greasy frog thing, and his male genital item was not nice. Like, why can't they just call it a penis? Why? I mean, why do they keep on coming up with all these different names for it? Man carrot, man fruit, male genital item, the male object. It's like, just call it a penis. Is it really that hard to say penis? Not like Edward. It was like a horrible wet mushroom. He stroked my knee with it, and I gasped. What was he going to do to me? But suddenly, before he could come any closer, the door of the room we were in burst open. It was Edward. Okay, it looks like this story is incomplete. But you want to know what? I am glad it's incomplete because I cannot read another chapter of this story. The story was awful. It was awful. It was just... To put it this way, it was a damn fucking piece of shit! I don't think I want to know. It was... it just made me want to scream. It made me want to rip my hair out. The grammar was awful. And I know that the person said, oh, I have dyslexia, but they claimed that they had a proofreader help them with this, and the proofreader didn't really do much good. I mean, you should have more than one proofreader. You should use Microsoft Word. You should use a dictionary. I mean, is it really that hard? And the story just made no sense. And the author trying to claim, oh, well, she isn't a Mary Sue. She is a Mary Sue. She's a Mary Sue. She is a Mary Sue. Just because she isn't perfect doesn't mean she's not a Mary Sue. She's a Mary Sue, whether you like it or not. It was bad. It was up there with My Immortal. That's how bad it was. And it just became more and more weird. I mean, what the heck is with the panda thing? What was with that? I mean, it's pretty much Twilight, except taking out the character of Bella and replacing it with this person who was even more bland and annoying than Bella was. It was a bad story. Well, I'm the fanfic critic. I read it, you listen, and I need to regrow some brain cells. It would help if I closed the door.